So there are a lot of coaching, consulting, service, SaaS offers that believe if you deliver a great program, clients are going to stay engaged. Clients are going to stay giving you their discretionary effort. But I'm here to tell you, unfortunately, it's not quite the case. Because oftentimes, a lot of people have clients checking out, disengaging, ghosting even though they paid a lot of money to be there before the end of the program, sometimes before even the middle of the program or the beginning, but the program can even start to work. So why is this if you have that issue? The assumption is that, again, a great program equals an engaged client. But good delivery alone isn't the trigger for a client giving you their extra discretionary effort. So what is? There's a decision window that not enough offers in the online business space properly take advantage of, and it's costing you, which is the time in between the sales call, when the person says yes, hands you their money, and the time where they get the first result. Now, this isn't the time when they enter the program and get the first result. I want to be very clear. This is the time where they say yes and then get the first result. And why that's so important is because once they have no more leverage to use, they've given you their money, their cards are on the table, they're out, you're the one with the power, that's when it matters most, especially in those hours or days after that moment. That is when it matters most for creating a long-term quality relationship with the client and building what I like to call emotional equity. There is no greater moment than that to build emotional equity with a client. So before results, before trust is earned, before your program has done anything, and broken it down into really key specific things that need to happen during this time to keep your client engaged, because keeping them engaged means getting them a result, and getting them a result, ideally, means getting a referral and upselling them into a next higher margin offer and getting a testimonial out of them and getting them to stay with you longer, and all those things that make up increasing their LTV and increasing the average of your client LTV. So what's going to happen in those first, as I like to call it, 72 hours? And this is going to sound a little bit woo-woo on the surface, but we're going to go into very tactical pieces of how to actually install this within the first 72 hours. Safety, clarity, momentum, identity. Four, I'd like to say kind of emotional shifts, but four distinct feelings that you need to install in your client in the first 72 hours. Because most people are treating this like an administrative time. They're treating it like a time where it's like, oh, need to make sure your paperwork is signed. Oh, need to blah, blah, blah. It's like, I just gave you a crap ton of money. I'm out of, I have no more cards left to play. I'm out. And that is how I'm going to know, or that's when I'm going to be the most malleable, the most vulnerable to whatever you may or may not do for me as a client. It's right in that time, that emotional time. So how do you install these four things? For safety is first. This is essentially taking them from, did I make the right call? Did I do the right thing? Did I sign up for the right program? Like, what the F did I do with my life? Two, I'm safe here. They got me. I might not know exactly what's going on, but I know that I can trust them to help me through the process. This is especially important for B2C, but I don't want you to also discount this for B2B either, because oftentimes people have pressure from an organization. If it's a business owner, they have pressure on themselves for the business, and they're like, is this a decision that's going to hold up under scrutiny? Is this a decision that I can be proud of, that I can take back to others, my team, my upline, whoever, and I can say, yeah, I made this decision and I'm really, really good with it. And so I don't want you to mistake this just for thinking it's emotional safety. It might also be just operational, organizational safety. And so how do you install this? There's a lot of ways. My favorite one, I'm going to give you my favorite action step of each of these four, because there's so many different ways to install each of these, some of them more subtle than others, but I'll give you my favorite one for each. For safety, I like to call this the safety call. Essentially what this means is that you're going to have someone, doesn't have to be, for lack of a better word, anyone of any great importance. It sounds really politically mean, but it's the truth. It can literally be a VA, low-level CSM, anything. Someone with pulse, giving them a call within 12 hours, the sooner the better, of payment. And simply just asking three things. How do you feel? Do you know how to get support if you need it for the next couple of days, foreseeable future, while we get things rolling? And do you know when your next touch point is? Do you know when your first call is? Do you know when your first welcome thing is? Do you know how to reach the Slack group to get to whatever, the school group, whatever it is? Do you know essentially what that next step is? And then, of course, being able to answer or help with any of those things. They're going to take that information down. The point of this isn't to, blow their mind on this first call. The point is just so that they know that there is somebody on the other side of this online business that they may or may not have heard of, only 48 hours ago, who is caring about them, who sees them, who knows that they're there. That's the whole point. And this sounds trivial, but I promise you, it is so, so paramount. So the question would be, would 9 out of 10 clients say they feel taken care of within 24 hours of paying? And as an industry standard, the answer is no. And that's all right, because that's what we're here to fix. So the next step, clarity. This is taking somebody from what did I just buy and where do I start? I don't even know what it was. The sales guy said something about this, that, and the other thing, and all this stuff got thrown at me, and modules and videos and all this stuff I have to pay to, blah, 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 to, yeah, I know exactly what to do next. I'm good to go. Let's do this. Just simple clarity. The action I like to take here is what I like to call a customized orientation resource that's delivered within 24 hours of the sales call. Favorite way to do this is with AI. A lot of this is going to be with AI. I actually just made a video on the YouTube channel a couple of videos back about how to create an AI-focused onboarding process that delivers the client a very quick win within under 48 hours of enrolling, which actually we're just going to talk about here in a second. So definitely check out that video. We'll get into a lot more of the specifics and tactics around the AI piece of that. But in the meantime, a customized orientation resource within 24 hours of the safety call. What this means is you train up an AI based on your IP. It can be as simple as a custom GPT. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. And you feed into it the sales call transcript, any sort of onboarding form, things like that, any sort of application form that they would have filled out, and also just your general outline, or you can train it on your general outline of what orientation, what the first couple of days, first couple of weeks looks like, what onboarding looks like. And then you're going to have it spit out a very customized start here resource, which is essentially just going to be this person's, call her Sally, Sally's customized roadmap of 3 very important things. 1, what to do, contextual to where she's starting, because as much as we would like them to, not every client starts in the right place. So giving her, him, whoever, a customized resource that reflects where they're at, what they said on the call, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, super powerful. Instead of just your generic, hey, welcome, how do you do, onboarding form. The second thing it's going to do is it's going to tell them what not to do, because this is just as important as telling them what to do, because you tell them what not to do so they don't go out of order, because there's a reason that you're the expert, because you know what order things need to go in. And having them jump around is not only going to waste their energy, but it's also going to make them less likely to see results, because they're going to put in more effort in the wrong order, and then they're not going to get the results that they want. And the third thing, most important of the 3 that it's going to do, is it's going to tell them how they should expect to feel, or rather, let me say, normalize how they're feeling before, during, and after this period of time. Because again, remember, they are the most emotionally volatile during this time. I don't care if it was a $1,000 course with a little bit of implementation support or a $100,000 year-long mastermind. I don't care, either way, or anything in between. Most emotionally volatile in this window. So you need to normalize for them anything that will come up. If it's a B2C, obviously those emotions are going to be a little bit bigger, maybe, right? Especially if it's something personal, fitness offer, a relationship coaching offer, something like that. If it's more of a B2B, that's going to be a little bit more of like, an organizational feeling where you're saying, hey, cool, it's okay if this is messy. It's okay if this is disorganized right now. It's okay if you don't quite understand this, whatever. You're normalizing what the experience is for the person on the other end of this. And that is going to just nip in the bud so much of the questions and the concern and just the thoughts and feelings that will come up in somebody that are going to be writing for the person how they feel about you instead of what's actually in front of them. And so this is how you prevent that. So the question there is, could a new client describe their first week in step-by-step without asking for support? Third thing, momentum. Same custom GPT, same trained AI. Maybe you set up a different one specifically for this, but same concept. You take those same resources and you're going to create what I like to call a micro win asset. And this is essentially where you're going to develop for them a set of very customized instructions based on where they in particular are starting from. And you're going to say, listen, do this, doing this, you will get that. And it's something that's a predetermined win that actually moves them in the direction that they need to go in. And so the concept behind this is you're taking them from, I'll start when life calms down. I'll start tomorrow. I'll start next week. I'll start, after the first call. It's fine. To, I've already done something and it worked. Like I came into this program, this offer, this coaching, whatever, and I was like, gee, I hope this works. I hope I can see something different from all the other crap I've invested in, because everybody's been burned before. Let's just be honest. Not only are you delivering that to them systematically at scale every single time, predetermined win, but you're doing it in under 72, ideally in under 48 hours after they pay. How much emotional equity does that build with a client, again, who just came in and is super emotionally volatile? Huge, insane amounts. And so again, putting that together, making sure that it is a leading and a lagging indicator. Again, I get into this much more in the video on how to create AI optimized onboarding, so check that out. But essentially, I'll give you an example of this. For a fitness coaching offer that we worked with a while ago, we created a custom GPT that was fully trained in their IP in terms of how they like to work with their clients, what they recommended in terms of nutrition and fitness and exercise and macros and all this stuff. And basically the micro win was that every single client was given custom instructions based on where they're starting from on how to use this GPT. So we actually made it a client-facing GPT. Actually, we made a second one that was client-facing custom AI. And they go through it and they submit into this AI everything that's currently in their fridge and in their pantry. Simple as that. Just go down the list. It takes them 15 minutes to put it together. And the AI spits out several things. One is a red, yellow, green list of everything that they can keep and reasons why, everything that they should moderate according to the coach's IP and the reasons why, and everything that they should throw out also according to the coach's IP and the reasons why. And then it also gives them a shopping list for what to get to replace the things they're moderating and throwing out with reasons why in the coach's language and the coach's understanding. So even before the first call, before the first interaction, they're getting value. They're getting clarity. They're getting momentum that they never got from the other programs that they've tried, because everybody else waited until the first call, which was 9 days after they paid a crap load of money to come into the program. So within such little time, and you can see hopefully how you can do this systematically at scale. This does not take a lot of human intervention. This takes, a human pass, 5 minutes maybe, to check to make sure everything looks good. And then you send it off and you let the AI do its job. But the emotional equity this builds within the first hours, days, huge. The last thing is identity. This is taking somebody from I bought something to I belong to something. And that seems like a nuanced difference, but it's really not. I bought something is I'm on the outside, I'm external. I belong to something is I'm on the inside, I'm internal. I am with these people. Now, the action I like to recommend to take here, this doesn't matter if it's a group or one-on-one, very little personal interaction, whatever it is. Make one intentional peer introduction in the first week, honestly, within the first couple of days, 72 hours. The reason for this is because the most powerful component of identity, of somebody feeling as though they belong to something, is proximity. How closely can you get them to someone else who is in their same shoes, has their same goals, has their same struggles, has their same issues, relatively as close as you can, who knows how it feels to be going through what they're going through and to want the things that they're wanting. You hook those two people up, and what it tells them, is that not only does this person get me, but they get me enough to also introduce me to somebody as an accountability partner, a companion along the journey, whatever you want to call it. They get me so well that they can introduce me to somebody who also resonates with what I'm going through, with what I want, with what I need. Very, very powerful. Identity by proximity. Really, really, really powerful. And so again, the question is, by the end of week 1, would most clients say they belong here rather than they want a program? So those are the 4 shifts you want to create at scale, systematically, with every client. And by the way, when I say at scale and systematically, at scale meaning no matter how many clients you take on, systematically meaning without human involvement, without your involvement on a per client basis, obviously to set it up, but then on a per client basis, doesn't matter how many you bring in, the system works. And obviously that's the point of using AI with it. And the compounding effect of all of it. Yes. Safety, clarity, momentum, identity. You hit all 4 in 72 hours, and you have a fundamentally different client. You have a client who you've built so much emotional equity with that they will tolerate friction at a completely different level than somebody who you do not have the same emotional equity with. They will tolerate bumps along the road. They will give you the benefit of the doubt. They won't sit there with any little hiccup. They'll say, ooh, I wonder if I made a mistake. Ooh, I wonder if I'm getting gypped. Ooh, this wasn't part of the thing and I'm not getting what I was promised. And oh my gosh, they're not delivering and I need to ask for a refund. They'll say, yeah, it's all right. That happened, but look at everything else I've got already so quickly. the frame and the benefit of the doubt that they give you, it can be so powerful because everybody's delivery is going to be a mess at some point or another. I guarantee it. Everybody's going to mess up with something. You can systematize it. You can within an inch of its life, something's going to break at some point. And you want to make sure that you have enough emotional equity built with that client so that when it does, if it does, they're not immediately turning into your worst nightmare, which is what happens in a lot of cases. So again, these are the 4 questions. Do 9 out of 10 clients feel taken care of within the first 24 hours? Could a client describe week 1 without asking for support? What share of clients had a fine win within the first 48 hours? And do most clients feel that they belong to something instead of purchase something by the end of week 1? And this says here, if you can't say yes to all 4, that's where you start. That's actually a lie. If you can't hit all 4, I would go in this order: momentum, and then clarity, and then safety, and then identity. That is it in order of the largest leverage. I think the one with the largest leverage on this list is momentum. Getting a client a predefined win, a leading and a lagging indicator. And this isn't something like telling them, hey, fill out this form. Hey, post this thing. Hey, do this whatever and send it into the void. And oh, by the way, you need to do 49 more. This is an action with a result that you tell them they will be getting, and they get it at scale every time. Simple as that. And it's going to be different for every offer, depending on what the offer is. That's what I help my clients to brainstorm and figure out what exactly that looks like for them. But it's a predefined win. That lever is something that so few programs do. So few. And if you can do that at scale with every client, not only deliver on a promise that you made them on the sales call that's aligned with something that they really, really need and want, not only deliver out in the first place, which if you know anything about other offers in the space is already a great bar to hit, and an uncommon bar to hit, but you deliver on one of the key promises or a part of a key promise within under 48 hours. The client is yours for life. Like I don't say that lightly. The amount of emotional equity, that's what it always comes back to, you build with that person is so powerful. You can leverage it in so many ways. Makes for a way easier to fulfill client, makes for a client who is way more likely to upsell, way more likely to continue, way more likely to refer you people, and also way more likely to be way less of a drag on your delivery, to be way easier to work with because they will put in the work themselves. And I don't want you to think it's as easy as, oh, you just do these 4 things and then you can just stop delivering on everything. It's not. But the point is that with this, there is so much leverage throughout the client journey. So all that to be said, hope you found this video helpful. If you'd like a personalized look at where exactly your delivery, rather your onboarding, could be optimized better, comment the word audit below, and I will send you a fully personalized, customized breakdown on the back end of your business to tell you exactly where you can be making more profit from every single client that you close.